Last night, the city of Chicago became the latest U.S. city to introduce a resolution that would effectively decriminalize psychedelic plants and fungi, and they unanimously voted 50-0 on a resolution supporting entheogenic plant practice, meaning the practice of people using psychedelics. So this is the very interesting resolution, which mentions ibogaine, DMT, mescaline, and psilocybin by name, and promotes their usage. That was passed in a 50-0 unanimous vote in the city of Chicago, Illinois. I think it's really strange that only the Psychedelic Science Review and IllinoisPolicy.org have reported this, and no mainstream news agency has reported this yet. When Denver did this, it was reported by like every major news agency immediately, not by only two a few days after it happened. When I first saw the press release about Chicago possibly decriminalizing psychedelics, when I recorded my video, at that point, no news agency had reported this at all. Shortly thereafter, actually while I was uploading my video, an article was suddenly shared widely on social media. That article later ended up being changed, but I took screenshots of the original article, so I'm going to show them to you right now. Here's the original article. It said, Chicago follows Oakland, decriminalizes psychedelic plants. And last night, the city of Chicago became the latest U.S. city to effectively decriminalize psychedelic plants and fungi. This article was later changed. As you can see, it now says, Chicago follows Oakland, introduces resolution to decriminalize psychedelic plants. And then it says, updated sources have indicated that the resolution as currently introduced is non-binding. Last night, the city of Chicago became the latest U.S. city to introduce a resolution that would effectively decriminalize psychedelic plants and fungi, and they unanimously voted 50-0 on a resolution supporting entheogenic plant practice, meaning the practice of people using psychedelics. This article is very unclear, though, because it says they introduced a resolution, then they said they voted unanimously on the resolution. And here's another recently published article. It's on IllinoisPolicy.org. It says, Chicago City Council calls for decriminalization of magic mushrooms. I think it's really strange that only the Psychedelic Science Review and IllinoisPolicy.org have reported this, and no mainstream news agency has reported this yet. When Denver did this, it was reported by like every major news agency immediately, not by only two a few days after it happened. This article says city leaders passed a resolution expressing support for expanding scientific and medical research on organic psychedelics in Chicago with the goal of decriminalizing adult use of the plants and fungi. This article says Chicago could become the third major U.S. city to decriminalize psychedelic plants, and that the most commonly recognizable psychedelic plants are magic mushrooms. And this article, which is also very unclear, explains that this is a resolution and not an ordinance. It's only advisory and not enforceable, meaning they're basically recommending that the police not arrest people for psychedelic plants, and that in the future they might propose an actual ordinance which would require a preliminary and a final vote, as it did in Oakland. Anyway, in my opinion, both of these articles are very poorly written and do not clearly explain exactly what law was passed. However, this article does have a link to a PDF of the full resolution. So if you're wondering exactly what a resolution supporting entheogenic plant practice is, you can click on this link and find out. I'm not going to read the full resolution because I'm actually quite congested right now. I'm still recovering from a cold that I think I got while our power was shut off for a few days, and it was very cold in my house, and I breathed in gas fumes while helping my boyfriend with our generator. Anyway, I will be reading some of the resolution and some of the interesting things that are in it. This is from the City of Chicago Office of the City Clerk, and it says, expression of support for adult use of entheogenic plants and call for hearings to discuss findings from Department of Public Health on feasibility of use of entheogenic plants and its plant compounds as alternative treatment options. The resolution starts out by declaring that the investigation and arrest of individuals involved with the adult use of entheogenic plants on the federal Schedule I list be among the lowest priority for the City of Chicago and the Chicago Police Department. It then defines the term entheogen, talks about medical and religious uses, and here is the interesting part. It goes on to mention how ibogaine helps get people who are addicted to opioids off of opioids, that plants containing DMT, which they point out is naturally occurring in the human body, can cause mystical experiences or experiences similar to near-death experiences that are or can be demonstrably beneficial in treating addiction, depression, and PTSD, and in catalyzing profound experiences of personal and spiritual growth. Entheogenic cacti that contain compounds such as mescaline can be beneficial in healing drug and alcohol addiction and also with spiritual growth and community healing and religious use. And then it mentions psilocybin, naturally occurring in entheogenic mushrooms, can do all kinds of wonderful things as well. Sorry people, I'm starting to cough. I'm not going to read everything, but as you can see it mentions cancer, substance abuse, depression, and cluster headaches, and they also mentioned that Johns Hopkins University found that it can help healthy, normal people have positive lifestyle changes as well. So this is the very interesting resolution, which mentions ibogaine, DMT, mescaline, and psilocybin by name, and promotes their usage. That was passed in a 50-0 unanimous vote in the city of Chicago, Illinois. Isn't that interesting? So, if you're one of the people that saw the title of my last video and did not believe that DMT was covered by this resolution, there is your evidence that I was correct. They specifically mentioned DMT, as well as many other psychedelics, in their resolution supporting entheogenic plant practice, meaning the practice of ingesting psychedelics. And now that I have shown you that, my boyfriend is waiting for me to help him with something in the kitchen, so I am now going to end this video. Please like this video, share this video, watch my other videos, subscribe to my channel, and if you'd like to help me out to make more videos, please donate money to me on Patreon and other sites. Bye.